Magnum, what was your perspective on him as a booker, working with him, and how he executed things and how he laid things out for a lot of talent, young and veteran?
I think it was very much in touch with what people wanted.
Hmm.
Like I said, I watched the Road Warriors when they first showed up on TBS, and how he realized how green they were, but also how much potential there was in it, and threw all those people out there for them to have squash matches with, because frankly, that's all that they could do when they first started out. And he knew how to draw money.
Hmm.
He didn't have as big of a global view of it as, say, a Dusty. He was more regionalized in his thinking.
Mhm.
And I know that I know they spent a lot of time. They were very close with the Briscoes, and Briscoes were part of that ownership in that territory too at one time, with Barnett and all of them. So, all those guys were old school, solid, foundational, wrestling type people, and not hot shotting crazy, theatrical type things. But I mean, as he had Buzz Sawyer helping him down there, and Buzz and Tommy Rich had amazing brutal cage match, and back in the day in Atlanta. And again, he knew what it took to draw money. I mean, Tommy had his best run, again, with Ole in the mix. And
Mhm.
again, yeah, he was very well rounded, very much in the know, and had a lot to offer the young and up and coming as he stepped out of it, even more so than when he was in the ring. Because when he was in the ring, it's kind of always difficult for anybody. They kind of know how to book themselves sometimes, and
Sure.
not everybody else.
You're right.
And I think he might have had a little bit of that in him, but in the overall picture, he was a tremendous businessman, and he gave a lot more to it than he took.
Mhm.
Well, with the aspect you always hear about how big of like a curmudgeon or certain aspects of like how difficult maybe he might have been to work with, but you were mentioning too, like he was willing to teach a lot of these younger guys or like and give them feedback. Did you kind of find that more an aspect that maybe was a little unfounded by the overall perspective of Ole, was that he was helpful and in regards to certain ways, despite being maybe having a certain attitude about him or anything?
He didn't have a filter. The
Okay.
words filter. He didn't have a filter. So if you didn't want to know what he really thought, don't ask,
Yeah.
because he's going to tell you what he really thinks, and he's going to believe what he's saying adamantly. And so he said, especially in his older years, he had said some things that were not so diplomatic about Rick and about Vince McMahon, and different ones, and so it's not things that lends people to want to bring you within their bubble or their circle, where you can you know have that filter gone, because if you get the platform and get the stage, you're going to get what you get.
Right.
So and a lot of people that get to be a certain age, sometimes have very strong memories of things being a certain way, and the things that they didn't like at the time.
You
I,
looked at me. You looked at me when you said
I was looking around the room.
that. You looked at me.
Nobody in particular.
No,
Well, as you get
but
older,
it's still tippy time any way you look at it. But anyway, no, it was like that part of it. I think made his that what should have been his golden years, and then you mix in the health problems and things that go along with it. A little unfair,
Hmm.
because I mean, the hardcore people still showed him the love and everything, but it was probably a little difficult for some people to get in there, because he was very, like I said, he's just very vocal. And if you said, "Hey, what do you think about this?" he's gonna say, and maybe I think he really got to the point where it was probably almost humorous to him,
Yeah.
because he didn't care. If he liked you, that was great, and if he didn't like you, and you asked him, then that was going to be great too.
did you point at me again?
Hey, let's talk about AEW. Let's
Okay, real
flip the script here.
Okay.
Go-Go's in Palm Springs, and the dog's been jumping on me.
You're good to go. You're good to let the dog out.
I'm going to hang on now, and I got her laying back down, but that's why I've been turning away.
That's okay. No worries about it. No worries.
You let him out the door? Oh, you got to have him on a leash. Can't just let him go.
Yeah, I can't just let him out.
Well,
right?
This one I can, but the other one I had 2 this week, and the other one he'd take off running. And I took him for a walk the other day, and we had a real warm day, and it was melting. And I come down the hill with him, and I slipped in the mud, and I had mud all over me, and the little shit took off, and I'm running after him. God damn it! I tell you,
Greg's had quite the week already.
Oh, he didn't. I was getting only about 2-3 hours of sleep a night.
He almost locked
He'd jump up in
out
bed, and he'd try to crawl under the covers.
He almost
if
locked
it'd been
himself
Go-Go,
out
I'd have let her in, but this damn dog.
You almost locked yourself out in the freezing cold too.
Oh God, yeah, I'm having a tough time.
He's having a go of it. But yeah, what did you? Obviously, by the time this airs, Revolution would have happened. Sting's retirement would have went down. Everything like that. His send off.
And guess what?
Yes,
I will have been there.
How about that? I was going to ask that.
I got the call.
Did you really? Good.
You got the invite.
And somebody else did not get the call.
I didn't get that call.
Who could that have been?
No,
I would never get that call from them.
No, I got a message from Tony Schiavone inviting me to be part of it, and which I told him I would. And so, to your point, by the time this airs, I will have already been there